Hi guys, welcome to Credible Talk. I'm Aarica Mims.
And I'm Eric Hage. This is the podcast where we talk about all things commercial real estate and more.
Happy New Year. You guys, it's 2023. I feel like we need to be like cheersing with champagne right now. We made it through 2022 and here we are.
At this point, we'll just assume that everybody's already toasted the new year. And so here's to 2023. And we are happy to welcome everybody back to Credible Talk, and especially excited to continue our conversation with Pleas Mitchell. And Pleas is the president of Balfour Beatty's Texas division. If you caught last month's episode, you heard Pleas talking about Balfour and you know, much of what has happened over the last few years up until the end of last year. And it was great to hear his perspective. And with enough arm pulling, we were able to convince Pleas to come back and to continue the conversation with us. Right, Pleas?
I'm back.
So, Pleas, what's the crystal ball that you have for this year?
Gee, thanks.
Yeah, please tell us everything.
So, Pleas, we got the great chance to speak with you quite a bit about last year. So, moving into 2023, as you look forward this next year or 2 years, what are some of the things that Balfour Beatty is focused on?
I would say right now, number one, we're blessed to be in some of the best markets in the U.S. So North Texas, Austin, and Phoenix. We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago and really talked about, do we want to get into new market sectors? What do we want to do? And we really decided the best thing to do is just go deeper in those markets. We've got great clients there. They're good markets. It's work that we're good at, kind of we call our wheelhouse projects. So let's do that. That's easier than trying to get into new lines of business and figuring that out, new clients, new subs. So that's our strategy for the next couple of years.
So making more needle movers in the markets you're already in, if they're satellite markets, right. I think is a smart move, right? Where you're doubling down on those markets that you have reputation and clients in.
Yep. Yeah, we have, the good news with Austin and Phoenix, we have common clients, even KDC, you name it. I mean, all of our big clients are in all three markets. So that makes it much better.
Now, is it by any coincidence that Dallas, Phoenix, and Austin all have great golf type courses?
Zero coincidence.
But you're thankful
very well
for
planned.
Well, as we talk about exploring new markets, is San Diego on that list for
Palm
you?
Springs.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. Just clearing the air.
Newport.
Yeah. Well, okay, we've talked about other markets, but I think we can all agree that we're very thankful to have a large presence here in the North Texas market. In 2022, there were some really great large announcements made, such as Goldman Sachs moving here and adding, 5 to 6,000 new employees. And we've seen a lot of moves from large financial institutions and other big corporations here in the North Texas area. And I think we're going to see more of that going into 2023 and hopefully into 2024. What is your pipeline looking like for 2023?
I would say at this point, 2023 looks pretty good. It's just figuring out what's gonna go.
Yeah.
We're seeing the residential, high-rise residential market still strong. The build-to-suit market still very strong. Spec office obviously is taking a bit of a pause, I would say. So we're trying to stay focused on those, and mainly all of our jobs are south of Northwest Highway. I mean, we don't have anything really going on except for education and interiors in Plano and those areas where we've always had a large project going. So they're either on Clyde Warren Park, they're on Knox Street, Turtle Creek Avenue, two huge projects going on there. So they're all within 3 miles of each other.
I think that plays to the flight to quality, being somewhere urban and engaging environments for the employees, to get your employees back to, environments they want to be in.
No, it's a big quality of life issue we're seeing now in our projects to draw. It's a war for talent for everyone, every business. So you really have to design in a place that you're employees want to come to work. I mean, we're very sensitive to that too now.
Right.
You know, whatever we can do, we're kind of in an old building, but whatever we can do to make it better for people to come to work, we're doing.
So we're seeing a lot of clients asking to be in those exact areas that you're describing, the highly amenitized areas where you've got nearby multifamily that's affordable, great dining options and retail and
hotels are close. Yeah.
And it seems like that's exactly where your projects are residing. Last year, we continued to see pricing creep along at a steady rate. And now we're in 2023. I know it's kind of crystal ball thinking here that I'm asking you to do. And you may be looking back 12 months from this statement and go, how did I say that? But we won't hold you to it.
No.
We won't.
But this is being recorded, okay?
Van Amberg sending me a voicemail of my,
Sure.
of my
You
response.
said pricing was okay. So, all right, this is kind of a two-part question. Okay, is pricing going to continue to go up? Is it going to stabilize? Is there going to be a breaking point? That's part one. Part two is more based on the health of subcontractors, and I think in the last recession we saw a lot of subcontractors that grew too much during the good times start to get overloaded, and then we started to see a lot of defaults and them going out of business. So two parts, where do you see pricing going? How do you see this affecting subcontractors and the health of these subcontracting firms that are, by the way, doing 95% of the work out there on any of these job sites?
Prices have always gone up, okay? I mean, they've always gone up 2 to 3% a year for forever. But you could count on that, I mean, you could put in a 2% escalation into a project that wasn't going to start for a year and you'd be fine. That's been the problem lately, is you had no idea in 3 months what ready mix was going to cost. I think we're seeing flattening right now of pricing. I think we're seeing more certainty, but it's still going to go up. Sure. But we're just hoping not at
the rate,
not at 2 or 3% a month.
Yeah,
is what we were dealing with. Yeah, that was hugely problematic.
You're right, because in a 1 year span before this year, we saw pricing go up as high as 24% on a given project.
Yep.
So to get healthier, to see that decline, and maybe it looks more like 0.5% to 0.25% a month, would be a great outcome for the year.
Yes, it would be great. And I would say, I agree with what you said as it relates to subs. It's good markets that hurt subs. They take on too much work. They invest too much in plants and equipment. And then when the market softens, they don't have any place to put it, and they're still paying for it. So, but we stay very close to our trade partners financially, knowing where they are, to just mitigate that risk because it doesn't help doesn't help anybody if one goes
out of business during a
Right.
project at a critical time is
it's not good.
Not good. So over the past several years, we've seen technology being on the rise in the construction industry, virtual technologies, new construction techniques. What are some of the things that Balfour Beatty is utilizing today that you think will continue to evolve? And are there any other technologies that y'all are investing in as a company?
I would say in the last 2 years, the one that has been kind of a game changer for us and for our clients and architects has been open space, which was super beneficial in the pandemic when people didn't want to go to the job. So open space is a program. You put a camera on a project engineer's hard hat, and he cuts a lap every day on a planned route through every floor, once a week. I mean, through every floor. And so you can go online. I can go online right now, look at any project we have. You can go back in time from one space. You can look at a wall and go back in time to see.
You can see where the outlet was placed in that
right,
wall.
Or where the pipe was. And then they're also implementing some AI, artificial intelligence, into that to tell how much drywall has been put in every every week, or what pipe was put in that week, or whatever. So
So is
that's
it
pretty
bad
exciting.
that it actually holds you accountable for
It-
a clean
well,
job
we-
site
we,
in
we
progress?
say that sword cuts both ways. So because it's on there.
But it is an incredible technology.
Well, the guys
because-
in J.P. Morgan in New York, they could do a job walk every
Yeah.
week. Just go watch it video of, and then it tests stills also. So it was great for them.
And it cuts down on travel.
yeah.
Interesting.
Let's talk about sustainability really quick. It seems that we are getting asked by more corporate clients to really raise the bar in terms of our sustainable targets on projects. So the days of just doing a LEED certified building, we think corporate America is wanting much more than that. We think LEED Gold, LEED Platinum, aspects of carbon net zero, or at a minimum buying sustainable power, are things that we need to start incorporating into more of our projects at a minimum. Is that on par with what you guys are seeing? And then are there any additional things that Balfour Beatty is doing as a company to support those initiatives?
Well, Balfour Beatty being a London-based company, the UK has significant sustainability
That is
requirements.
true. Yeah.
I mean, they're not, hey, let's try, guys. They're requirements for them. So we're kind of, it's not mandatory for us, but we're certainly being pushed for that, for more recyclable materials, clean energy, all those things on our job sites, solar panels, electric trucks, all that we're doing. But I also think clients want a lot of those things, but today the building code is basically a LEED silver now, just to build it to code.
And it just depends on if you get certified.
Right, it depends on where you build it. And a lot of our clients don't want to pay LEED
Right.
for a plaque. So we'll build it to those criteria, but not necessarily get it certified. But they're also, well is a big deal now, well buildings. We're seeing a lot of that. And, but there's to go from gold to platinum and platinum to net zero is significant cost. I mean, it's exponential.
It is. And we've just been shocked that, and we've met with some folks at various financial institutions, some at the highest level, that I recall one conversation where that gentleman said, above all priorities that he has as an executive at the bank, sustainability, ESG is the number one priority. So above, project costs, budget, schedule, the building has got to be sustainable to the highest level. Another bank really also trying to push the limits on
Sure.
sustainability. I think you can just open up the paper and read about the Goldman project, and we are hearing that they are also doing the same thing, as well as some of the others around town. So, it's just interesting to see that they are placing such a high emphasis on it. And I think, you look across the tech sector, and with Amazon and other tech, Meta, they're all asking, the same questions about carbon net zero. And so I think, while some companies maybe are, saying that, you can get away with a LEED certified building, I just think that it's going to be more and more prevalent that we're going to have to really double down on those efforts.
Yeah, and what I think is interesting that you just talked about, we mentioned Goldman and other financial institutions. In most instances, those have been for single-tenant build-to-suits, but we are now seeing that bleed heavily into multi-tenant buildings where higher LEED certifications are going to be required going forward.
Well, let's talk about something a little bit more lighthearted. Or maybe not so much.
Well, I don't know.
Right.
Anything more lighthearted has to do with food for Eric. I don't know.
Right.
Well, I've been drilled about food for the last with 3 of the last 4 episodes. So I'll push it over to you.
Sure.
Clay.
Great.
Well, I gave my take on
Gonna
what
say-
I love about Thanksgiving dinner, and my take was that if it was that good, we'd be eating it all the time.
Exactly.
Which was interesting because as I was eating it, I was like, he has a point.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
good.
it's great
yeah.
for the meal that is there.
For
That
the
is it.
one
with
meal.
all
Yes.
the other stuff. But What about you? What's your food craving? If you had one last meal.
Tex-Mex is
100%.
I mean, that's that and a margarita, and I can go on. You know.
Well, first it was vodka soda, now it's a margarita.
But not in a Mexican restaurant.
Not in a Mexican restaurant. No.
No, that would be it. So, I mean, we had fajitas from Banditos for Thanksgiving. So.
Banditos is our spot.
Oh, is it
okay?
really? Oh,
That's where you let the kids go.
little skinny Ethel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Little do you know, they've got
Yes.
a great hamburger too.
I mean, our daughter literally went there when she was in a high chair, and she's a junior in college. We've been going there for
Well, my
20 years.
My 4-year-old, if you ask, hey, Sanders, where do you want to go to dinner? He will not let us go anywhere besides Banditos.
Oh.
So,
Yeah,
and he gets a hamburger.
The outdoor, we used to go with like 3 or 4 families. The outdoor patio is an absolute S show.
Yeah,
These
totally.
kids
Totally.
just praying they weren't in the parking lot.
It is. I just feel bad for the people cleaning up at each table. Usually requires much bigger tip.
Okay, I would like to bring something up and have a discussion about your name, coming
Okay.
from someone who has a name that is quite often misspelled and no one knows how to pronounce it. So where does the name Pleas come from?
And for those who are listening, it's spelled Pleas.
Right. So spell check when you send me an email.
Mm-hmm. My autocorrects to Africa. So there's that.
It's a pretty boring story. It's a family name. It's English. It was Pleasant several generations ago. It was shortened. It's always been a middle name with different first names. And so I'm a junior, so my dad, we were the first ones to have the same first name. So,
Okay.
Well, that's cool.
and first day in school was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Just, I'm sure you remember that. Pledge? What? What is it? Please?
Yeah.
Well, you probably get along great with your British parent company then,
Exactly.
as a result of having that kind of a name. Well, that's great. Thanks for clarifying that. That was really on my mind too, Aarica. I was really stressed about
I mean,
that.
I'm honestly surprised I haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
All right, so New Year's resolution. So being a company leader at Balfour Beatty, what was your New Year's resolution, or what were some of your goals for the business for this year?
You know, I would say really being intentional about staying on our strategy. If we, like we talked about, going deeper in our markets, not getting outside of what we call our fairway. You know, stay in the fairway with what we do, with clients we know, projects we know, our project teams have built, contracts we've seen before. That's where we're very successful. And when we get out of that, things can get pretty bad quickly. So
the grass is not always greener on the other side.
And it's hard when you have jobs that are pushing or whatever to stay true to that. So, but Balfour Beatty understands we're at a great place. We got a great market. We've got great work. We just, we'll see where 2023 goes.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yep.
I like that. And Pleas, we really appreciate your time again.
We so appreciate it.
Thank you for doing this.
Sure.
We loved our visit with you, and we wish you the best of luck this year. And Aarica?
Until next time, everyone, thanks for tuning in to Credible Talk. Happy New Year.
Thank you.